Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and what a lovely and glorious afternoon it is. Welcome to this week's instalment of Cwmafan RFC's weekly pub quiz, Isolation Edition. I hope you're well and hope you're all safe. Now, you will notice that there is something ever so slightly different about this week's format. This, unfortunately, is a pre-recorded message. Yes, dear viewers, because unfortunately, as you are watching this, I am sat somewhere within the bowels of Tata Steel Troster, taking part in a long and grueling night shift. We don't like night shifts. But I wasn't eager to disappoint you, dear viewers, so here you have this week's edition of the pub quiz. Now, for those of you who haven't played before or need a little reminding, this quiz consists of 50 questions broken up into 5 rounds of 10 questions each. Those rounds are general knowledge, music, sport, film and TV, and our blockbuster, I'll Have a Pee Please Bob. Now, because this is pre-recorded, if you need any questions repeating, you are of course free to rewind the video. Just pull the little slider across the bottom and have the question you need repeated. So, without any further ado, we'll begin this week's quiz. Round 1, General Knowledge, Question 1. The dish of which popular Chinese... Start again. The name of which popular Chinese dish means odds and ends? That's question 1, round 1. The name of which popular Chinese dish means odds and ends? Question 2. In which year was the very first stretch of motorway opened in the UK? In which year was the very first stretch of motorway opened in the UK? Question 3. How many squares are there on a Scrabble board? Is it 175, 225, or 300? How many squares are there on a Scrabble board? Is it 175, 225, or 300? Once again, that's round 1, question 3. How many squares are there on a Scrabble board? Is it 175, 225, or 300? Question 4. In what city did famous grave robbers Burke and Hare operate? In what city did famous grave robbers Burke and Hare operate? A film a couple of years ago with Simon Pegg and Andy Serkis. Quite liberal with historic events, but in what city did famous grave robbers Burke and Hare operate? Question 5, round 1, question 5. Big word here. Cacomophobia. Cacomophobia is the fear of what? Loud noises, cockroaches, or fat people? Cacomophobia is the fear of what? Loud noises, cockroaches, or fat people? Once again, round 1, question 5. Cacomophobia is the fear of what? Loud noises, cockroaches, or fat people? Question 6. What is the collective noun for a group of gnu? What is the collective noun for a group of gnu? Now, gnu are deer, elky-like things, and the collective noun is what they are collectively known as, funny enough. So similarly, it would be a parliament of owls, a murder of crows, a smack of jellyfish. What is the collective noun for a group of gnu? Question 7. What was the name of Great Britain's World War II code-breaking station? What was the name of Britain's World War II code-breaking station? They built the world's first ever functioning decoding computer here. They decoded the Enigma there. What was the name of Britain's World War II code-breaking station? Question 8. In which human organ would you find the hypothalamus? In which human organ would you find the hypothalamus? Round 1, question 8 once more. In which human organ would you find the hypothalamus? Question 9. What standard size paper measures 148 millimeters by 210 millimeters? Is it A5, A4, or A3? What standard size of paper measures 148 millimeters by 210 millimeters? A5, A4, or A3? And finally, question 10. How many vertebrae are there in the human spinal column? How many vertebrae are there in the human spinal column? 23, 33, or 43? How many vertebrae are there in the human spinal column? 23, 33, or 43? And that, ladies and gents, boys and girls, was round 1, general knowledge. As you say, if you've missed any, just pull back on the slider and replay. We'll move swiftly on now to round 2, music. Music, question 1. Which song did David Bowie and Mick Jagger sing together at Live Aid? Which song did David Bowie and Mick Jagger sing together at Live Aid? And if you've seen the music video they produced for this particular song, it is one of the most disturbing things you will ever see. Question 2. What is the best-selling album of all time in the UK? What is the best-selling album of all time in the UK? That's question 2, round 2. What is the best-selling album of all time in the UK? Question 3. Who had a hit in 1988 with I Get Weak? Who had a hit in 1988 with I Get Weak? 32 years ago. Who had a hit in 1988 with I Get Weak? Question 4. Which company created the Flying V guitar in the late 1950s? Which company created the Flying V guitar in the late 1950s? Once again, question 4. Which company created the Flying V guitar in the late 1950s? Question 5. Who told us to go west in 1993? Something I will be doing in approximately half hour's time, heading west down the M4, night shift. Question 5. Who told us to go west in 1993? Question 6. Which song was a #2 hit for the Osmonds in 1974 and a #1 hit for Boyzone in 1994? Which song was a #2 hit for the Osmonds in 1974 and a #1 hit for Boyzone in 1994? Question 6 once again. Which song was a #2 hit for the Osmonds in 1974 and a #1 hit for Boyzone in 1994? Question 7. I Dreamed a Dream is a song from which Broadway and West End musical? I Dreamed a Dream is a song from which Broadway and West End musical? Question 7 once again. I Dreamed a Dream is a song from which Broadway and West End musical? Question 8. According to Tina Turner, we don't need another what? According to Tina Turner, we don't need another what? Question 8, once again. According to Tina Turner, we don't need another what? Question 9. Which band had a hit with Obviously in 2004? Which band had a hit with Obviously in 2004? And question 10, round 2. In what year did Wigfield give us the one-hit wonder Saturday Night? In what year did Wigfield give us the one-hit wonder Saturday Night? Was it 1993, 1994, or 1995? In what year did Wigfield give us the one-hit wonder of Saturday Night? Is it 1993, 1994, or 1995? And that was round 2. I do hope you're all enjoying up to this point, and I hope you're doing rather well. We'll move on now to round 3, sport. Question 1. Which snooker player is nicknamed the Rocket? Which snooker player is nicknamed the Rocket? Question 1, round 3. Which snooker player is nicknamed the Rocket? Question 2. Who had Manchester United been playing prior to the Munich air disaster? Who had Manchester United been playing prior to the Munich air disaster? Round 3, question 2. Who had Manchester United been playing prior to the Munich air disaster? Question 3. Bernie Ecclestone is a famous figure in which sport? Bernie Ecclestone is a famous figure in which sport? Question 4. In which sport would you start the game with a tip-off? In which sport would you start the game with a tip-off? That's question 4, round 3. In which sport would you start the game with a tip-off? Question 4 again. In which sport would you start the game with a tip-off? Question 5. How many professional fights did Muhammad Ali lose? How many professional fights did Muhammad Ali lose? Was it 0, 2, or 5? How many professional fights did Muhammad Ali lose? Was it 0, 2, or 5? Question 6. What sport is played over 4 periods of 15 minutes where only 2 of the 7 players per team can score? What sport is played over 4 periods of 15 minutes where only 2 of the 7 players can score? Question 6 once again. What sport is played over 4 periods of 15 minutes where only 2 of the 7 players can score? Question 7. Lincoln, East End, Manchester and London are all types of what piece of sporting equipment? Lincoln, East End, Manchester and London are all types of what piece of sporting equipment? Question 8. How many points is the pink ball worth in a game of snooker? How many points is the pink ball worth in a game of snooker? Question 9. In which sport would you use the terms bump, set, spike and pancake? In which sport would you use the terms bump, set, spike and pancake? And question 10. In what year did Red Rum first win the Grand National? In what year did Red Rum first win the Grand National? And that was round 3 sport. Now, we'll move on to my favourite round, film and TV. I know it's a favourite of Mr. Julian Page if he's out there watching. It's a favourite of many others too. Round 4, film and TV, question 1. While the other prizes changed weekly, which item was a constant feature on the Generation Games conveyor belt? While the other prizes changed weekly, which item was a constant feature on the Generation Games conveyor belt? Question 2. Hong Kong Fooey stole all the glory, but his cat was the real brains of the outfit. What was his name? Hong Kong Fooey stole all the glory, but his cat was the real brains of the outfit. What was his name? Apart from Mr. Chin's kitchen, what else did Del Boy and Rodney use the glow-in-the-dark paint on? It's question 3. Apart from Mr. Chin's kitchen, what else did Del Boy and Rodney use the glow-in-the-dark paint on? Trigger told them it was intercity yellow. It was far from it. Apart from Mr. Chin's kitchen, what else did Del Boy and Rodney use the glow-in-the-dark paint on? Question 4. The phrase, "Today is Saturday, wear a smile," was abbreviated to become the title of which popular children's show? The phrase, "Today is Saturday, wear a smile," was abbreviated to become the title of which popular children's TV show? Question 5. Who played the rebellious Vivian in The Young Ones? Who played the rebellious Vivian in The Young Ones? Question 5. Who played the rebellious Vivian in The Young Ones? Question 6. What was the name of the nurse in Open All Hours? What was the name of the nurse in Open All Hours? Question 7. Which Big Brother contestant grabbed media attention after her... Start again. Which Big Brother contestant grabbed media attention after her unusual use of a wine bottle? Which Big Brother contestant grabbed media attention after her unusual use of a wine bottle? Question 8. In the sitcom Friends, what was the name of the pet monkey owned by Ross? In the sitcom Friends, what was the name of the pet monkey owned by Ross? Question 9. On the set of a TV show or movie, what is the job of a gaffer? On the set of a TV show or movie, what is the job of a gaffer? Question 10. On what game show would you have found Scotsman John Anderson officiating? On what game show would you have found Scotsman John Anderson officiating? And that was round 4. Move on now to our blockbuster round, round 5. I'll have a pee, please, Bob. Question 1. What G is known as plumbago or black lead? What G is known as plumbago or black lead? Question 2. What D is a tree which sheds its leaves? What D is a tree which sheds its leaves? Question 3. What E is the government department concerned with revenue? What E is the government department concerned with revenue? Question 4. What O are the world's greatest games? What O are the world's greatest games? Question 5. What F means untrue? What F means untrue? Question 6. What L is a representative assembly whose primary function is the enactment of laws? What L is a representative assembly whose primary function is the enactment of laws? Question 7. What J means to put something at risk or danger? What J means to put something at risk or danger? Question 8. What I were the ancient people of South America? What I were the ancient people of South America? Question 9. What A is a fragrance? What A is a fragrance? And question 10. What H was Dick Turpin? Question 10, round 5. What H was Dick Turpin? And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, concludes this week's quiz. We do have this week's bonus question. So if you are ready. According to NASA, how many miles are there between the Earth and neighbouring planet Mars when both planets are their furthest from the Sun? To the nearest 100 million miles. According to NASA, how many miles are there between Earth and neighbouring planet Mars when both planets are their furthest from the Sun? I'll give you a minute there to answer that. Remember, if you were joining us in the clubhouse, the bonus question would be worth at this point quite a considerable amount of money. However, during the lockdown, it's purely just for an extra bit of fun. Okay. The answer to this week's impossible bonus question. When both planets are their furthest from the Sun, there is 250 million miles between Earth and Mars. Could do that in the afternoon. Okay then, folks. We'll go right back to the start and start going through the answers. How we'll work it this week is, as usual, submit your scores in the comments. I'll give a little bit of greater time to submit them this week, and I shall post the results a little later this evening, maybe when I go on my break, early hours in the morning, and you'll pick up the results then. Okay, round 1, general knowledge, question 1. The popular Chinese dish, which means odds and ends, is chop suey. Round 1, question 1, the answer is chop suey. Question 2, the very first stretch of motorway was opened in the UK in 1959. 1959, the first stretch of motorway. Question 3, there are 225 squares on a Scrabble board. 225 squares on a Scrabble board. Question 4. Burke and Hare operated in the city of Edinburgh. Edinburgh for question 4. Question 5. Cwmophobia is the fear of fat people. Cwmophobia is the fear of fat people. The collective noun for a group of GNU. This is question 6. The collective noun for a group of GNU is an implausibility of GNU. Britain's World War II code-breaking station was Bletchley Park. Britain's code-breaking station was Bletchley Park. Question 8. You would find the hypothalamus in the brain. You would find the hypothalamus in the brain. Question 9. What standard size of paper measures 148 millimeters by 210? It is A5. A5 for question 9. Question 10. There are 33 vertebrae in the human spine. 33 vertebrae in the human spine. Round 2, music. David Bowie and Mick Jagger sang Dancing in the Street at Live Aid. Dancing in the Street for question 1, round 2. Question 2, the best-selling album of all time in the UK is Queen's Greatest Hits. Queen's Greatest Hits, question 2. Question 3, I Get Weak in 1988 was by Belinda Carlisle. Belinda Carlisle, I Get Weak. Question 4, the Flying V guitar was created by Gibson. Yes, it's the Gibson Flying V guitar. Question 5. It was the Pet Shop Boys who told us to go west in 1993. The Pet Shop Boys, go west. Question 6. The number 2 hit for the Osmonds, which became a number 1 hit for Boyzone, was Love Me For A Reason. Love Me For A Reason, question 6. I Dreamed a Dream is a song from Les Miserables. I Dreamed a Dream, Les Miserables. According to Tina Turner, we don't need another hero. We don't need another hero. Soundtrack to Mad Max. The band which had a hit with Obviously in 2004 was McFly. Obviously, 2004, McFly. Question 9. And Wigfield give us the one-hit wonder of Saturday Night, and what a fabulous one-hit wonder it is, in the year of our Lord, 1994. Round 3, sport. The Rocket is Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie the Rocket O'Sullivan. Question 2. Manchester United had been playing Red Star Belgrade prior to the Munich air disaster. Manchester United had been playing Red Star Belgrade prior to the Munich air disaster. Question 3. Bernie Ecclestone is a famous figure in Formula 1 racing. Bernie Ecclestone is a famous figure in Formula 1 racing. Question 4. You would start the game of basketball with a tip-off. You would start the game of basketball with a tip-off. Question 6. Played over 4 periods of 15 minutes where only 2 of the 7 players can score is the game of netball. Oop, missed question 5. The answer to question 5, Muhammad Ali lost 5 professional fights. Muhammad Ali lost 5 professional fights. So question 6, yes, the answer was netball. Netball for question 6. Lincoln, East End, Manchester and London are all types of dartboards. Lincoln, East End and Manchester and London are all types of dartboards. Question 8. The pink ball is worth 6 points in a game of snooker. The pink ball is worth 6 points in a game of snooker. Question 9. Bump, set, spike and pancake are all terms in volleyball. Bump, set, spike and pancake are all terms in volleyball. And question 10. Red Rum first won the Grand National in 1973. 1973, Red Rum first won the Grand National. Film and TV. While the other prizes changed weekly, which item was a constant feature on the Generation Games conveyor? It was, of course, the cuddly toy. Question 2. Hong Kong Phooey stole all the glory, but his cat was the real brains of the outfit. What was his cat's name? It was Spot. Spot. Question 3. Apart from Mr. Chin's kitchen, Del Boy and Rodney painted their mother's grave. Apart from Mr. Chin's kitchen, Del Boy and Rodney painted their mother's grave. Question 4. Today is Saturday. Wear a smile was a course abbreviated to become TISWAS. TISWAS for question 4. Question 5. The rebellious Vivian in The Young Ones was played by Aid Edmondson. Aid Edmondson, question 5. Question 6. The name of the nurse in Open All Hours was Nurse Gladys Emanuel. Gladys Emanuel, question 6. Question 7. The Big Brother contestant who grabbed media attention after unusual use of a wine bottle was Kinga. Kinga for question 7. Question 8. In the sitcom Friends, the monkey owned by Ross was Marcel. Marcel was the monkey owned by Ross. Question 9. On the set of a TV show or movie, the gaffer is the electrician. On the set of a TV show or movie, the gaffer is an electrician. And on what game show would you have found Scotsman John Anderson officiating? Contender, are ye ready? It was Gladiators. Round 5, I'll have a P, please, Bob. What G is known as plumbago or black lead? It is graphite. Question 2. A tree which sheds its leaves is deciduous. Deciduous for question 2. The government department concerned with revenue is the Exchequer. The world's greatest games are the Olympics. But F means untrue. It is false. What L is a representative assembly whose primary function is the enactment of laws? It is legislature. What J means to put something at risk or danger? It is to jeopardize. Jeopardize for 7. The ancient people of South America are the Incas. Incas. How many people put Indians? You are incorrect. That was North America. Incas for question 8. Question 9. A fragrance is an aroma. And question 10. Dick Turpin was a highwayman. Dick Turpin, highwayman for question 10. Right, folks, that concludes this week's quiz. Thank you very much for joining me. As I said, as usual, put your answers, your scores in the comments, and I'll announce the winners at some point later this evening. Now, I do have a bit of good news. I'm not a fan of this pre-recorded format. I do enjoy broadcasting live to you and having that interaction with you guys through the comments. So, through some scheming and conniving and wangling, next week I shall be coming to you live once again, as I have 20 days off work after tonight's shift. Yes, fantastic. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Have a good night.